Good morning everyone, welcome to my Friday video, Stitch the Seasons, winter. So, I don't think I did one last week. Oh, maybe I did, I can't remember now. I'm a bit all over the place as you know. So, I've been busy stitching. The one day I sat on the phone chatting to Susanna for goodness knows how long, I think it was like 5 hours, and I stitched this flower. So let me just show you what I did. I think in the last video I had done the weaving stitch in there on those little petals. Then I came back with some ribbon and did some little cream stitches, some French knots. And then I started, because I enjoyed that so much, I started working in this brown ribbon and the coffee coloured ribbon to create some more textured petals, and then popped a little bit of blue in there, then came back and did a little bit more blue there to sort of drag it all together into a very much a Fleur Woods inspired piece, and I just love it. I just love it. Then I realised, my homework was to finish that and also that, and these little guys, they're all done. And I stitched my nest in. Then I found those little flowerets I made out of those scrappy bits of crocheted doilies. That was like probably 10 videos ago. Just little random pieces stitched together to create a little flower. I did have an extra one, but I used it in another project, but I didn't end up needing it because I found this piece, which I'll show you in a moment, and that one is going to go there. Now, I went to the local thrift store when I was in town and I found this, and it's just gorgeous. Little placemat, and I loved that shape there. So that's what that is. Then one of those is just from the edge. You can see where I've been nibbling in. And then I took a second one and I've folded it, and it's going to be put into there as if it's peeking out behind this rose. So this rose is the very last rose. So then what did I do? I finished the bottom edge because I had to make a decision. Where was this piece going to sit? Is it going after autumn, like so, or was winter going to lead into spring? So looking at the design and where everything was, it became apparent that it would be best design-wise, as in engineeringly-wise, to come in here, which led me to fiddling around with the top, which I'll show you what I've done there in a moment. And that's what I want to sort of work on next. That leaves the big flower, and that'll be in another video. I've got all my threads now in one location, so if I can't find a thread that I want to use, I'll have to go further afoot and dig them out. But in the meantime, that's the last one to do. I found a bit of this ribbon as well, so I think it's going to be very ribboned. But anyway, let's just back it up a bit. So the top, that's what I was going to say. So down the bottom here, I just used little snippets as well of crocheted medallions and stitched that down. So now I have a finished edge. I don't think I want to make it any more elaborate. I could bring in another crocheted piece underneath, but I haven't sort of found anything that I really like. So at the moment, it's just going to have a flat bottom. If I add more, it's sort of getting longer too. And the edge of the bookcase that I want to hang it on, I don't want it touching the ground. So at this stage, I'm going to call that completed. Flowers left to do, and I need to tidy up this here. So I just wanted to do this. I need my buttons first before I get too carried away. So I hope you've all had a great week. I've rested a lot, which has been great. Sort of just hanging in limbo, doing not a lot, but I have been watching the Anne Kelly course, the online course that I told you about earlier in the week. and I've been fiddling around with a few little bits and pieces from that. No major works or anything like that. I'm just sort of picking out little things and going, you know, I haven't done that for ages. I'm going to try it. So whether it turns into a piece, like what Anne is working through in the course, or they're just random elements that sit in my box of goodies that may pop up in the future in something. I don't know. But I'll show you that in a moment. Let's get focused here. So the theory is I'm going to unpin this, only to repin it. But I'll show you what I did. If you recall, for those who've been with me for a while, the top edge of this was a little skew with. See that there? So the little piece that I used was shorter than what we really needed, because if you do that, you can see the difference I had. So I've had to pad it out, and I still need to pad it out. So I found this napkin. It was reduced at, I think it was Pillow Talk. Yeah, Pillow Talk. Whenever I pass Pillow Talk, I always have a little look at their reduced section, because they sometimes have the most beautiful textiles in there, especially in the napkin. And I think I picked these up for $1.50, and I got 2. And I thought that fabric is just perfect. So what I did, for those of you who are new to this whole build it from nothing routine we seem to do in the slow stitch world, I'll just show you what I did. I cut a piece that is slightly wider than my work so that I can tuck under, turn over. I didn't unpick the seam, I've left it, because the plan is that seam will go on the back. So that's how I propose to finish this. So I'm now just going to repin it. I want the raw edge on this side so that it sort of suits the piece, and the hemmed edge can go in behind. Oh, I feel like I'm going to sneeze, guys. Am I going to sneeze? Should I pause the video just in case I sneeze? I think I'm going to sneeze. I'm back in a moment. Okay, I'm back. I didn't end up sneezing, but came close. All right, where was I? So I'm just going to fiddle with this to get it in position. I can see a little bit of my background fabric here where it's gone in. I'm okay with that. I'm not gonna. English is shocking today. That's not much chop at the best of times. But anyway, I'm not going to be concerned about it. And just get this pinned in where I want it. Now, my words, each piece, as you recall, has some words that best sum up my feelings for that season. So now I'm going to just turn this over. I believe I still have room. So crooked. Crooked's good. Nothing in life is straight. Everything is crooked. Does that sound profound? Oh my goodness. I might get my needle and thread up, because while I'm on the back of this piece, I might as well do a little bit of tacking down. That's less pins, I guess. But I think you see where I'm heading. I'm going to just bring that in and bring that down. And then I thought, just to keep it looking like it's part of the piece, I've dug out, this is Wonderfill, I believe, and Pearl Cotton number 8. And I'm going to do some running stitch. Just to, hold it all. Well, not hold it, but decorate the front, this section. So let's just, I've already run up that side anyway with a stitch right at the beginning. Now it's just about tacking this down. I'm not pushing through to the front because there's plenty of layers Anne Kelly online course I'm doing, she pronounced camphor completely different. She did repeat the way we say it, camphor, but during her speech on, section on hand stitching, different options for backgrounds, she referred to camphor stitching, but she said we technically say it wrong, and she pronounced it a completely different way, and I've already forgotten it. I need to go back and find that section. But then later in the video, she called it camphor like we do. So the true pronunciation of the word was very different. You guys might know it, but I hadn't heard it. I was like, oh, well, there you go. I just want to get that. Might flip it over. Oh, another little thing that I saw when I was sitting aimlessly looking at bloomin' Facebook reels, you know, those short little videos that just go on and on and on and on once you start. When you take a photo of a plant, for example, and I tested it on plants because I've got pictures of plants, and you tap on the photo, all of this text appears about the photo, like where in the world the photo was taken geographically. Well, there's if Google or Apple or whoever it is, the mystery man behind technology, whoever that is, recognises the plant, you'll see a little symbol pop up and it'll tell you actually the plant. And I thought, no, that can't be right. Let me grab the sidetracked. Here we go. I'll show you the two pictures. I went back through my photos and I found a picture of the iris that I used for my prompt in the Roxy. All right, so it was that photo there. And see that there, it's information. So Mr. Apple, Google, whoever it is, the Wizard of Oz, the wizard, if he knows what that is, this symbol pops up. So you tap it and then you can tap on here and it'll tell you what it thinks that photo is. And it was spot on. I'm like, oh yeah, all right, that's pretty obvious. That's the iris. So I then went to another photo and this photo. So when hubby came back a couple of weeks back with a load from our Brisbane house, he accidentally picked up a plant that I had borrowed to make the house look staged. And so this is a plastic plant. And I said to him, oh, that's not mine. That belongs to our mate. So I put it back into one of the empty boxes, sit it in the garage, ready to catch the next load back. And I thought, oh, I wonder if Mr. Google or the Wizard of Oz is smart. So here's the little emblem again. So I tap on it. And look, it says it's a philodendron. How clever is that? So then I can tap on it and it'll take me to philodendrons that are, you know, on the internet that I might want to research. And it's correct. It is a philodendron. I thought, how clever. So I just thought I'd mention that. I tell you, it's like someone's analysing our photos. Now, here's my conspiracy theory head going here. Just need to let it go. There's not a lot I can do about it. But anyway, there you go. I'm convinced they're listening to what we say and you get prompt with things that might be part of a conversation, you know. Oh, now my thread's come on. I did my sneaky knot too. Come on, I might do a double sneaky knot. I think it's because the needle has a pretty big eye on it. So my little sneaky knot didn't hold. So, yeah, there you go. See, the things you learn on YouTube Reels at 3 in the morning when you should be sleeping. You get these random videos. Oh, my goodness. For those of you out there who knew that and are sitting there going, correct, that's been around for 10 years. Well, the girl's not as fast on tech as she would like to be at times. It's a bit of a Gaz thing. If I can't make it by my hands, I sort of lose interest pretty quickly. Oh dear. Which brings me to my sewing machine. Oh, goodness me. 2 years ago, it was around the time I started my channel, I think. It must have been the first Roxy project. I think there was a prompt rabbit. Around that time, I bought myself a new sewing machine. And she is a whiz bang of a machine. I paid way more than I wanted to pay because I just, I don't know, got upsold. I was like, oh, that sounds cool, that sounds cool. But the whole reason I got myself a new machine was my old girl, which I've had forever, doesn't do free motion stitching. So if you've never heard of free motion stitching, it's where you drop the feed dogs, which are the little feet that pull the fabric through as you do your normal stitching, drops them below the ground surface, and then you can move your fabric as you choose instead of it just being straight line. And my old girl didn't do it. Apparently you can make those machines do it. I think Catherine from K3N Cloth Tales mentioned it. It was just a throwaway comment, and I'm like, oh, are you serious? There was a trick to it? But anyway, beside the point, I haven't worked that out. So anyway, I went out and I bought this whiz bang sewing machine. Now it does embroidery, so it's got a bit of a computer in it. And the other thing that made me go, you know, I'm just going to do it, is I've never had the opportunity to machine quilt. I've always just hand stitched quilts. So I thought, well, there's those hoops I've seen. I might just bugger it. I'm going to upgrade. So I did it. Now I'd done probably a 20-minute lesson with the lady in the shop. She really didn't want to give me much more than that unless I handed over even more money. And I thought, you know, that's enough. I can thread it, I can fill the bobbin and go for it. And I got her to put the free motion foot on, so at least it's ready for what I intended it to do. I got it home and I immediately stitched a rabbit, which I used on the front cover of my journal of stitchery at the time. I'm sure you've seen him before. I might just grab him. I can see him. Hold that thought. I won't be a moment. Here he is. So this was my first attempt, my first and only attempt. So you can see that the machine, you sort of just guide it as you will. And I think I started there. It immediately went sideways and it jigged around a little bit. And then I sort of found, okay, I gotcha. And that's what I stitched. And I put it on my journal of stitchery at the time. Well, then the machine got put back in the corner because my channel was just so time intense. And we were busy stitching the Roxy project at the time, volume 1. And I was doing a bit of my own stitching, plus doing Anne Woods. Is it Anne Woods? Oh, Anne Brooks. Her projects. I was doing all sorts of stuff. And it sort of just sat in the corner, and I sort of had a bit of buyer's guilt. Is that what it is? Not buyer's remorse? Buyer's guilt. It was remorse? No, it was guilt. Because it was a lot of money. I'm still hung up on that. Could have spent my money on going on a holiday. But anyway, I bought it and I used it the once and it has sat there and sat there. So the guilt's been building. And then we moved and I've built a bench for it in my studio. So, you know, one day. So I bought the online course of Anne Kelly's. Let me just really having a yibby yabba here. This is one of Anne Kelly's books. Now, I did see the Facebook ad and the Instagram ad pop up that the enrolments are closing soon. So I have a feeling it's this coming Sunday. So if you were considering doing the online course, I'd probably say head over there ASAP and just purchase. You'll have the course forever, and you can go in at any time. My Fleur Woods course is sitting there. So, yeah, and Anne uses, as well as hand sewing, we get sidetracked, Corinne. She uses free motion stitching as well. I don't think there's even an example just here. There would be. It's just a case of finding it. So, yeah, anyway, besides the point, I'm watching it and I'm probably 46% through the course. Loving it. It's just lovely to sit and watch and have someone show me, not new things, but just different ways of looking at the same things and how she interprets space. And yeah, anyway, that's beside the point. Is that even on the other side? Even enough. And part of the project, I think they were doing 3 projects, and you can pick 3 or just do the one, whatever you want to do. There's no set thing. You can just observe like I'm doing. I'm just sort of nitpicking. And I'm sitting there on the couch and I didn't feel like doing any of my work, and I don't know, I was just chilling out. And I was starting to feel a little bit flat that I wasn't doing something. It was just one of those days where I was in my head space and I was like, oh, get up and do something. You're sitting here thinking and I thought, I don't feel like doing my nests. I don't feel like doing this piece. I sort of felt like I wanted to start something new. So I'm listening to Anne and, incredible lady. And I actually went and picked up, while I was sort of audio listening, I went and picked up all of Rachel's fabrics that I've ordered from Rachel. And you're going to see a 15-minute video tomorrow, which is me just playing with the fabrics and throwing an idea around. And I think it's because I was sitting there not wanting to do too much, and here's Anne in my ear throwing ideas around, just random ideas of how to approach this particular project that you can do in the course. And Rachel's fabrics are sitting there in a lovely little pile, which I'm treasuring. Haven't yet committed to anything. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to spread them all out on the floor and just shoot some ideas around. Whether it turns into a project, who knows? And it sort of comes off the back of a comment Rachel made earlier in the week. And I believe the comment that Rachel's idea or suggestion came from her mum, Judy. So it's sort of an accumulation of a few things. And it's even a comment too, which I've sort of just remembered now. Catherine from K3N Cloth Tales made months ago that she's thinking about the project for next year, and quite a few of you have asked her that maybe you do a quilt and do blocks of it leading up to a quilt at the end of the year. So I'm not sure if Catherine has confirmed anything yet. I don't think she has, but I am a few videos behind there. And I thought, there's that quilt idea, lots of small pieces build together to make a bigger piece. It sort of is mulling around. And then with Judy's comment to Rachel about making a memory quilt for Lulu, Lucy the daughter, out of the fabrics that Rachel's printing. And I'm listening to Anne Kelly, who's throwing around ideas. Anyway, long story short, I grabbed my pile of Rachel fabrics and started sort of just piecing things together and chatting to you guys. And I dragged my stand and my iPad into the lounge room and laid it out on the floor and talked through. I guess, you know what, it got it out of my head. Let's just say that. It got it out of my head, which is good because, you know, sometimes these things are rolling around in our head, and if we hear it spoken out, we can move on or formulate a plan or forget about the idea, or, you know. So it was like therapy for me. So, yeah, that's what I did. You will see that video tomorrow. And like I say in the video, I don't know if it'll turn into a project. Who knows? It might be next year. But it's floating. I think I need more fabric to pull my idea off. So I might have to revisit Rachel's Etsy store and grab a few more elements. I think now that I've got a bit of an idea, that is just the shoddiest looking work. I think now that I've got a bit of an idea, I guess, yeah. Oh, the workmen are back. Gaz is getting his shed painted, well, the one section of it. It's been lined with gyprock, and now the men are here putting a coat of paint on it to protect the surface. Then we've got to pull everything out of the main part of the shed into the finished section, which is just a small bay. Might just run a few stitches there, guys. Might as well finish it nicely. Yeah, we'll pull everything out of the main shed, put it into the smaller section where a car is going to go, and his little workshops in the rear of it. And then the men that did the plastering are going to come back and start doing the main section. So, there's a month of work there. Gaz is over the moon. He's finally building a man cave. It's like all the dreams of a little boy have come together. So, yeah. I've got to tell you about the artwork I've got planned for his walls because it's a big shed. Did I finish my first story? Oh, gosh, I don't know. Coffee hasn't kicked in yet. I'll come back to the artwork. So, yeah, Anne is doing free motion stitching as a component of the piece. And I thought, you know, after I did lay Rachel's fabrics out on the carpet and hypothesise about a future plan for them, I then sat back down and I was watching a bit more of Anne. I'm thinking, there she is. She's free motion, that bloomin' machine sitting in the corner of I call it the Brumby. It's a beautiful looking horse. Oh, it's going to be good one day. But the girl needs to learn how to ride the Brumby. If you don't know what a Brumby is, in Australia we call them Brumbies when they're wild horses. They've been bred in the wild, they run in the wild. There's quite a few in our national parks that have bred up over the years, and oh gosh, you've got to be good to tame a Brumby. So my sewing machine, I call her Brumby. The old Janome, she's the old nag, but reliable, faithful. I know how to ride her. She's a simple old girl, but the Brumby, yeah. So I'm watching Anne, and she's on her sewing machine doing free motion, and she has you do some sketching of some different pieces, and I thought, oh, let's just do it. So I jumped up, see, laying that fabric out got me going, got me off the couch. I guess got it out of my mind, and I jumped up, I grabbed some elements that Anne refers to in the course, did some quick sketches and pulled out the Brumby and switched the Brumby on. I jumped on her back and surprise, surprise, she didn't kick me off, and I managed to do some work on it. So let me show you what I've done. I don't know what I'm going to do with these elements yet because, yeah, I don't know. It's part of the project, but I don't know if I'll have time to do that. So let's start. I did a little bird. It's a little bit crazy in a few spots. Little threads hanging off, but that's okay. And the other thing I did is Rachel was talking about Solvay. So Solvay, I managed to find some at my local Maryborough Palace, Patchwork on Palace store. You can draw on it and then place it on some fabric, stitch, hand stitch or sewing machine stitch, and then tear it off, and then you pop it under the water and it just dissolves. And I hadn't used that, and I thought, oh, there's another reason to try it. So I sketched my little bird on and then used the sewing machine to stitch him. So really, really happy with him. This little guy, find a toy in my room. I'm missing some little buttons on him. Sketch it and then sketch it again and again and again. Well, I did it twice. That's my first one that I sketched. And then I made I did it with my heat friction pen. And then this little guy, I went over it with my black, he's got little white buttons painted. So this little guy is one of those toys that there's like a rod through here and you can pull him apart and rebuild him in, you know, a kid's stacking toy. He's, you know, so big. He's so gorgeous. He was gifted to me for my birthday years ago by a work colleague, and I just love him. So I sketched him and then did him again, this without the solvay. You can see it got a bit hairy around there, artistic license. And then finished him off a little bit bigger. So I've got him and I've got this little guy, another little bird, really happy with him. And I end up putting 2 pieces of fabric just to give it a little bit of texture, strength to go through the machine. This little guy, Susanna, you'll recognise this little fellow. He's part of Susanna's calendar. I actually had packed up the sewing machine. I thought, that's enough. Gosh, it wasn't stressful, but, you know, the heart was beating, the excitement of it all. And there was a third bird, but he was horrific. He's in the bin. Maybe I get him out. He's just here. And I've chucked him because I thought that's him there. I think half his problem is, I don't know, does he have a problem? He's all right. I'll put him back in the pile. So he's been rescued. I had a seagull in mind. So I was sort of thinking seagulls when I did him. But anyway, and I packed the machine away and I'm like, oh, a rabbit would be good. So I grabbed out where I put the machine on my desk, all of Susanna's templates for her calendar project were there. And the rabbit I did on the side of a, what do you call it? Train of thought gone. Here, let me grab it. Hang on. So the rabbit is that little guy. So Susanna's design, I traced it onto the solvay and then went to my sewing machine. I could do with another line of stitching across his nose. There's only one there. So using Susanna's design, did a free motion version of him. Really happy with him. So, yeah, let me just put that away. Gosh, how sidetracked do I get? I'm going to pause the video and show you that guy too. So you sort of get what I was aiming to achieve. Back in a moment. Okay, I'm back. So this is my inspiration that came from. I have a Pinocchio as well, and I started sketching him, but he's very three-dimensional with lots of angles, and it just looked terrible. I'm like, oh, I don't have the patience to sit here and work that piece. Then I spotted this guy, and I thought, oh, well, that's simple. And I'm sort of glad I did do it, because when it came to this side of things, the stitching of on the sewing machine, he was easy for me to achieve. So, yeah, it's a stacking toy. I don't know a lot about him, but I love him. My friend found him in a thrift store and, got him for me for my birthday. And he was so cute. He wound old lace around him, so the whole thing was wound in lace and fabric scraps that I had to unwind And then out come this fellow, and I thought he's perfect because Anne is a British lady, and I thought, well, that's the start of maybe something. If not, it's the start of something in another project. I've got some cute little elements that I can just put away for one day. So yeah, if you are interested in doing the course, I'd highly recommend it, guys. Whiz over there and grab yourself one. It's really cool. I think, like I said, I'm probably 40% of the way through. So today I'll sit down, and I'm sort of looking for a needle with a bigger eye now because I'm at the stage of doing this. I'm just going to run a couple lines through, and then the next thing I want to work out is how we connect the two. And I know I want to use buttons, and I found this the same day as, that at the thrift store. So the plan is to, somehow modify this down, attach it to this one, so just running stitch I think is all I need, just to hold it all. So that's what I've been doing. I still have a nest video to do, unless you've already seen it. I don't think you have. It's the nest prompt for my ocean video, my ocean journal. I haven't yet done that. By the time you're watching this, we'll have a new prompt. So Corinne is slipping behind a little bit, but that's okay. Whatever. Like I said, taking a bit of chill time, no pressure. Make a video here and there, catch up with you guys. It's my therapy month. No pressure. Corinne will just come and chat to you as Corinne feels the need to. If she's not around, don't stress, she's okay. She's just taking a month of therapy, so still stitching, but just without the regimental, behaviour that she tends to get herself into. Okay, that's looking good. Yeah, I like that. Mind you, the time has been great because I've done so many little random jobs. You know, when you move into a house, there's always those random tasks that just don't get done. And I guess I've just sort of been, because I haven't had the drive to do a project or numerous projects and film and do my usual routine, which I'm missing a little. I've then been standing in a room saying, well, look at that. I haven't done that yet. I haven't done this. Like random things too. There's some timber work on the house, and I don't think the builder/painter put enough of that no more gaps in it. I can see where the timber pieces are starting to just come away a little bit. It's like the no more gaps have shrunk a little, and I don't want the weather to get in there. So we spotted it probably a month ago, bought the product to no more gaps it, and just haven't done it. I just haven't had time. So it's those little things. Potted up some plants, all those little things. Anyway, I know what I was going to tell you about is I've got an idea for some artwork for Gaz's shed. Now, Gaz's shed is very tall, very high ceiling in the centre of it. Looks like a blooming barn. You'd swear you'd have tractors in there, but we don't. We have blooming pinballs. Anyway, his walls are huge, and to get artwork is just way too expensive. So I made a couple of these when we were in Brisbane because he had a baby version of the shed in Brisbane. And once again, high walls and artwork, extremely expensive to fill that sort of space. So I'm looking forward to making them again. Now, what I did was I got some timber from the hardware and I created a frame with crossbars in the centre so it was rigid. And then I hopped online and I bought shower curtain pieces, like shower curtains, you know, with, oh, don't knot it, with imagery that matched his pinball games. For example, let me get my phone. Here we go. We're off on another tangent. So, and then I stapled, I'm just going to Google. I know one I did was Deadpool, because he's got the Deadpool game. Shower curtain. Okay, so see that there. I've got glare. It's probably not a real good example because it's so dark. Oh, there he is sitting in the tub. Okay, it's taking me to Etsy. Oh, I didn't pay $88. That's expensive. But see, it's a shower curtain basically. So the image is printed on the cloth. I create a timber frame and then using a staple gun, I stapled the shower curtain to the timber frame. So it looks like a piece of art and it's massive. And I was so pleased with it. Most of them I picked up for like $14 and I did a Deadpool. I did a Spider-Man. I did a Star Wars. I think there were 3. Oh, and a Ghostbusters one. And they look so cool. So because his shed's bigger and I've got more walls, I'm really looking forward to making some more. So if you've got a big wall that you want to put some artwork on and you've always put it off because you're thinking that's going to cost a fortune, have a think about shower curtains. There are so many designs on shower curtains, from flowers through to world maps, through to, you know, characters like what Gaz is interested. Oh, the coffee's kicked in. I've got a little bit of a shake happening here. Yeah, create a frame and frame it up and you've got yourself a nice piece of artwork. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to making some more of those for Gaz. He's got some more games since then, so there's all sorts of opportunities to find, you know. He's got a Jurassic Park one. I'd love to do a big Jurassic Park shower curtain. There'd have to be dinosaur, you know, kids' dinosaur images on shower curtains out there. So I'm just going to running stitch this all the way through, but I won't bore you with the whole thing because I want to get on to the next section of this, which is attaching the lace, and the lace then will capture the buttons. So that means this needs to be on there. So let's disconnect it. Isn't this a handy little piece? I'm just going to disconnect. Actually, the lady, the shopper was in. I went to get fuel and the forecourt of the fuel station was absolutely packed with cars, boats, a gentleman getting a trailer from, you know, hiring a trailer from the service station. It was just chaos. I couldn't even get to a Bowser without, you know, major moves to get the car in there. So then there's a little thrift store nearby. So I just went across to there, parked up, went into the thrift store, and I thought, oh, I haven't been in here for ages. I'll have a little look around, and found those couple things. Anyway, where do I attach this? Do I do it underneath and then down? Sort of like that. I'd have to trim it. So being that that's a sealed end and that's a sealed end, I'm going to trim it there. That in itself looks like a little flower, and I'll trim it there. I might wait because things stretch. Pop that out of the way. Bring this into the space. Might just catch it there. And then what I'll do is we can then use buttons to go through these holes and the buttons go on the winter piece to catch the bottom of the autumn piece. Is the plan. Yeah, so I go into the op shop and there were two ladies working, and there was a third lady that was in there just chatting to them, saying hello, and the sweetest ladies, so just chatting away, and I was just rummaging through the shelves like you do. And when I come up to the counter to go, a lot of the pieces that I'd picked up, the lady who was visiting, she'd actually donated. And she says, oh, you've actually bought all the things that I bought in from my mother. And I was like, oh, I love it when you get to hear the story behind things. So, yeah, small world, isn't it? By the time I finished having a look through the store, I walked out to the car, and the forecourt at the service station was completely empty. There was not a soul there. And I reversed out my park, slipped across to it, fueled up, went inside the service station, and there was a lady behind the counter, and she was very flustered, and she was having a cold drink, and she just was like taking a moment, you know. And I said to her, gosh, you were busy a few minutes ago. And she goes, oh my goodness. She was out actually at the time helping the gentleman connect the trailer to his car that he was hiring, and there seemed to be a bit of a kerfuffle, like they couldn't get it to connect, and she definitely seemed, you know, flustered, but she was regained herself and was having a cold drink when I come waltzing through. I used to work many years ago when I was going through uni, and Gaz and I were first dating / married, that sort of time frame. We both worked part-time at some service stations near us. And I can remember the trials and tribulations of working a service station, and often you're by yourself. So when it suddenly gets busy and you've got people wanting the button pressed on the console to release the fuel, plus you're also hiring a trailer, so you've got someone waiting next to the trailer for you to come out and unlock the trailer so that they can attach it to their car, and you've got to go through safety things. And meanwhile, more cars come in, and now there's a boat that's jackknifed and blocking all the entry points, and it can go into chaos quickly. So when I walked in to pay for my fuel, I could see it on her face. I was like, oh my goodness, you poor thing. I could see it was chaos. So yeah, I was like, oh, I hope your day goes really well from this point, because boy, you were busy. And she goes, I don't know where they all come from. And I said, well, you've got a moment to yourself, because I'm sure there's another lot coming. And she just giggled, and yeah, I fueled up and chuffed off with some goodies in my hand. I'm going to have to go to that service station more often. What's the odds that you can go to a thrift store and refuel your car at the same time? Could you imagine it? Guys, I'm just going to get fuel for the car. He'll be like, her enthusiasm to fuel the car is far... I need a thinner needle, guys. Where's Reg? That needle is just a little bit too thick. Do I need to go to Reg? Yeah, come on, Reg. A little bit too thick to go through that crocheting. I don't know how long I've been rambling away to you guys. I might put a knot in, because Reg is renowned for dropping the thread. That's should be a bit better. Yep, slices through. So the plan is once I get this attached, I can then mark where a button could go on the winter piece. And then I'm going to say they are officially connected. So the only two tasks left is to stitch the words for my winter poem, which I wrote ages and ages ago, and attach that, and then finish my final flower. Just in time. Spring is coming, guys. Oh my goodness, like seriously. We have slid through winter. I'm already in a t-shirt, no coat. Like that's, winter is gone. Not that it really is much in Queensland. At the best of times, I think we had a couple of weeks of cool where I put a light cardigan on. Still very mild. But boy, when summer hits, oh, it's going to be hot. It's going to be humid. Okay. So once I've finished filming this, I need to pick up my nest and do a little bit of work on that. So we might have a video Sunday or Monday with me working on the nest. I won't know the prompt probably when you guys watch it, but I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll just sit on the couch and watch more of my Anne Kelly course and you won't see a video. If you don't see a video, you're like, yep, she's gone back to the couch and she's spending time with a teacher of this fantastic world we're stitching in. I sort of don't want to rush the course either. I could sit there for a couple of hours and whiz through it, but I don't want to. I want a little morsel each day of Anne's world. Gives me time to think about what she's just told me and, you know, maybe have a little play with something like I did with the free motion. Get that machine out and have a little stitch. Like I said, if it doesn't turn into a project, doesn't matter. I got the machine out, which is something that's, you know, been on my mind. All right, I can now trim this little guy up. If anyone's ever worried about these crocheted elements fraying, they don't. There are so many knots that goes into making crocheting that if that little bit did fray, there's a knot immediately and then another one. So don't ever be afraid of cutting up these pieces because they're more robust than you think. Okay, there's our little edge. We'll bring in this. Got some more stitching to do there, but we can certainly work out where. I'll probably, for reinforcement reasons, I'll come back and stitch this down as well. I'll get Reg to run along there just to give it that stability. Now, some of these brown ones would be lovely, but will they fit? And where will they fit? They're probably a bit big. Yeah, I'm going to have to go little ones like that guy. And he's a one only, and I think he is off my pink jacket, to be honest. Might have to go further afoot to find more. Oh, I like that one. And he fits really well. So I'm going to use the bottom of the lace because it's a nice hole. Where's my pen? Right, roughly the middle. We're sitting roughly level. Let's make a dot there. That'll be 1 button, 2 buttons, 3 buttons, and 4. So there's 2 gaps, looks like, between each one. Yeah, that works. So 2 gaps, another one. 2 gaps, another one. I might just move him over a little bit. There's 3 gaps there, but that's okay. So here's my marker for my buttons. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All about that size. So that shouldn't be too hard to find. Yeah, there'll be plenty in there that I can use. They're a fraction too big. So that's the plan, guys. I will stitch on those buttons. They'll then connect through to my gaps that are on this, and we are connected. All right, I don't know how long this video is. I might just set Reg up with a little bit more thread. I want to stitch along that edge, then I know it's done. Then this piece can be put away. And I can go back to working on this piece. So I'm guessing next Friday we'll do the flower, but we'll see. I have time. Got a couple of weeks still left. Okay, let's just come from behind. Okay. Yeah, I like it. That's good. Whoop. Lots of emails are dropping in. It's about 8:30 in the morning, so the business world is waking up. Emails are flying in. Fudgy's just climbed out of bed and he's having some breakfast. He's a bit slow to get out of bed this morning. He was doing Zoomies yesterday afternoon, so I think he's okay. He was a very happy little cat. Today, he's a lot quieter and he's just appeared out of bed. He'll start meow-meowing now. Open the door, let me outside. This will just reinforce this a lot down the bottom here. Hand stitching's all well and good, but sometimes it's just not as strong as you need it, especially if it's a section that's getting a little bit of wear and tear, like buttons connecting into crocheting. There we go. Well, once I finish this, I might toddle off. I can finish stitching this here and attach my buttons. Log back into my portal on Fibre Arts Take 2 and watch a little bit more Anne and see if it inspires me to work more on that project, or maybe there'll be something else she'll show me. And I'm thinking, oh, I haven't done that for a while. That's the great thing about those online courses, is you don't have to do start to finish the project. You can just pull morsels out to do. And you can do it another day because you have a lifetime access to it. So it's really, really cool. They do such a good job of filming too. The Fibre Arts Take 2 people, they're an Australian business, and they go to the artist and spend hours and hours with them filming the components and then edit it all so that it's a beautifully crafted tutorial. It's really, really good. I was very impressed with what they did with Fleur. They went to New Zealand to Fleur, and the music and the ambiance, and it helped build the project in my mind. So there's inspiration within that. So yeah, and Anne takes us to some of her inspiring places. So it's lovely. Feels like I'm in London. That's why I don't mind if that piece has a bit of an English feel. It will make me think of Anne's world, hence the little soldier boy. My husband's English. See, I just had another idea. I could, if I do the piece, a piece inspired by the course, I could put a Union Jack in there. I've never stitched a flag and a Union Jack. So there's my colour scheme. Again, red and blue, like Soldier Boy. Flag is not part of Anne's course. It would just be an element that has popped into my head. But yeah, it's got potential. Sort of suits the little soldier boy. He's like the Queen's Guard. What do they call him? We saw those guys at Windsor Castle, and they did the changing of the guard. Oh, I apologise for anyone watching that's British. I just can't think of the name. You often see them standing there with their beautiful shiny black shoes, and you can't go near them, stay away, and then they do the march out and the march in, comes the change of shift. It's brilliant. We saw that when we were visiting the castle. Oh, come on, British friends, tell me what's... Oh, for some reason, Beefeater comes to mind. Is that right? Oh, I'm going to have to Google it now. I know you're all yelling at the screen. British soldier. Well, it's brought me up all the British Army, like modern day Royal. There they are. Bearskin hat, the British Royal Guard. There they are. Look. Look. There's the shape of that hat. My buttons are different to their buttons, but bearskin hat soldiers. Footman Guard. Let me put the word toy in after that. See if my little guy... There he is. So, Footman Guard, British Royal Soldier. I'll get rid of the word hat. Yeah. Oh, look at the little... Oh, of course. Yes, I remember seeing that. The little structure that he stands in. That'd be fun to stitch. I'm heading off on a tangent here. Imagery. That'd be a bit of a fun project. See how... Does this happen to you guys? Do you guys go down these rabbit holes? I know yous do. Yeah. See, then you bring in the British flag, and I've never slow stitched a British flag. I wonder if I've got some old quilt pieces that I could piece something together. Oh, goodness me. See how quickly a project happens? Oh, I don't know if those birds are British. Soon, I think mid-August, Anne Kelly will open up a private Facebook group so you can share your project and your process and chat to other members within the group. And if I do proceed with my British flair, they're going to be looking at that going, where the hell did the flag come from? Oh dear. It's amazing what can inspire you. And as Anne said, you make the work your own. She's there to throw suggestions out to us, and then away we go. And it looks like I'm sliding down a tribute to the British Empire. Be a nice piece for hubby, wouldn't it? Oh my goodness, going off on a tangent. Haven't done the nest yet. Goodness sakes. It's all good. Whatever. No rules. All right. Okay. I might toddle off. I don't have much more to stitch there. Do I keep going? I don't know how long this video is. I'll keep going. What the hang? You guys aren't going anywhere. You would have left by now if you're thinking, gee, she's boring today. Let's just do a couple more rows, and then all I've got to do is the buttons. Nothing like a little bit of running stitch. It's just, especially layers of it. And when the fabric is soft and your needle and thread just glide through it, there is nothing better. It's just beautiful. This thread colour I use down here, so it's good that it's popping up here at the top. It's sort of tying everything together. That little green. Okay. I know what I was going to ask you guys. Has anyone found any new YouTube channels, slow stitching, out there? Throw them in the comments below. If there's someone you've found, or you know someone who's stepping out into the world of YouTube, throw them in the comments below, and then we can go and check them out, show them a little love, encouragement. My friend Dawn has started a channel. I mentioned her the other day. She's a clever girl. If there's anyone else out there, I'll put Dawn's channel below so you know who I'm talking about, and you can head over and check out Dawn's channel. But yeah, if there's anyone else out there, YouTube throw things up they think we might like to see, but there's nothing better than someone recommending someone. There's so many out there, and it'd be nice to drop into their world. And if you hit the subscribe button, of course it doesn't cost anything. You're just letting YouTube know that you are interested in those videos from that artist, and they'll then maybe send other suggestions similar to you. So it's a good way of finding new channels, is if you subscribe to someone, then YouTube goes, oh, okay, you're really serious. You do like this slow stitch business. There is a little bell there too. You can click on that, and that lets you know when that artist pops a new video up. So if you're wondering what that little bell's about, that's really all about when there's a new video. And if YouTube's busy suggesting new things to you, you might not realise that they've put a new video up. So it just lets YouTube know that, hey, if something new comes from that person, please have it flash up on my screen so you can go and check it out. Oh, would you believe I'm short of thread? Look at that. I'm enjoying watching Kate too. Let me get her channel name right. Journal Nest, I think. I was watching one of her latest videos this morning. I'm just going to go in and double check the Journal Nest. So I'll put Kate's channel below. She's another Aussie girl doing some beautiful work. But, yeah, if you know of any others, there's a young lady I watch in the UK. She's more of a quilter. She has a lovely way too. She's a lovely, lovely lady, and she's just gone to a big quilt show that's in the UK. I haven't watched that video yet. I'll find it and link it below as well. I don't want to say the channel name because I'm not 100% sure. YouTube suggested to me. I don't think I've clicked the subscribe button for her. I must do that to show her a little love. Yeah, so looking for new channels, guys. Who's new out there? Who have you spotted? You certainly don't connect with everyone. Like, that's just human nature, isn't it? You go to a barbecue or a party and there might be 3 in the room that you'd love to sit and chat to all night, and then there's probably 10 in the room that you're like, that's enough. You're grating on my nerves. That's life. It's funny. YouTube can be the same. I know there's some YouTubers in my husband's world, like in the pinball or travel or fishing or cars, and some of them I just really enjoy. Others I'm like, oh my goodness, you are the most obnoxious dude. And he loves them. Oh, there's a couple. Oh my goodness, they are the moaniest, groaniest men. Oh, I have to leave the room with a few of them. I just can't handle. I'm like, you know, there's just some people that rile you up and you don't know why. And there's one in particular, I won't say his name, of course, and he just moans about everything. There's just, I said to my husband, is he an unhappy person? Like, what? He goes, no, he just is highly critical of everything in life. I'm like, ain't that the truth? Gee, I like that. I'll have to reassess my buttons, I think, guys. I think I could pull them up a little bit. No, I won't, because I want the green to come through that. Yeah, no, that's all right. It's all good. That will work. All right, well, I'm going to toddle off. I've got umpteen buttons to stitch. I'll get to rummage through my button pile and see what I can find in here. There'll be something for sure. If not, I might have to go further afoot. Find some buttons. All right, well, I'm going to say goodbye. I've been prattling on long enough. Look forward to seeing in the comments any video people we should check out in our world, and I'll link Dawn's channel again, Kate's channel, the journal nest. Oh, sorry, Kate. Gosh, until you get it into your mind. Just the journal nest. There you go. It's in now. And then I'll find that young lady from Britain that is more of English paper piecing and things like that. So she's lovely to listen to too. She's only young. She's gorgeous. All right, everyone. See you later. Have a lovely day. Bye.